Hello, this is the video version of the Joseph Evaldi Podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Evaldi, and I'm going to try something new in this introduction. I'm going to put a face to a brand. Let me get a swig of the Gatorade drink, and I'm going to start the podcast. First, why am I doing video? Many years ago, before the network, before the newly formed Nexus, before Wolfman Joe Toys and Media, before the Joseph Evaldi Podcast, before when I was just writing books, I initially started doing videos. And then that transition fell, and life took a course of its own, and I adapted the audio version, which was the podcast, which eventually developed into a network with my friend Richard Andrew, who played a major role, and he still is playing a role today. And then the age with other guests and so on and so forth, and to the new age of the podcast. So this is a media that I was traveling before, but this is a new media for me. I never did a video podcast. I was talking about stuff on video before, but never a video version of a podcast. Why am I doing it? Because I want to get out there and put a face to the brand. And it's very important. You heard my voice, but not necessarily my face. And I know with AI and everything else that's going on, it's good to be authentic and have a face. And I tried to do an AI version of the video of somebody talking about Wolfman Joe Toys and Media, but something about it didn't seem right. But I hope the guy who agreed his consent for that video is getting paid well for doing whatever he did. So I don't know. But I'm not going to delve into AI or anything else on this podcast yet, even though AI is an important thing right now for many. But why am I doing a video podcast? That's the question. I feel like I'm doing a video podcast because it's been 9 years since I've done a lot with podcasting. So I'm taking it to a new level. I feel like I'm ready for video, and I'm going to see what goes on from there. And since this is recorded, it could be edited, but I usually, let it do what it needs to do with the video. So that's the challenges of video, because once it's recorded, they see your face, they see what goes on behind the scenes and everything else. I mean, what I want to do in one podcast is do of simulcast between my podcast and my audio, and just to see what goes on, which means I'll have two computers running at the same time. So we'll see how that works. But I mean, going on camera, which means they see when you freeze, they see when you pause. People see when you freeze, they see when you pause. They see when you're in a train of thought. They see when you're not prepared. And it's a whole new medium. When you need to do something, you're doing it basically an impromptu speech or a prepared speech. It's different. But we'll see what goes on with there. I mean, you know what I could offer, and you know what I'm capable of. But now, I guess I want to get out there and put a face to the brand. Face to everything that I'm doing. And it would be a good way to give you updates on whatever I'm doing from podcasting to writing to video to even my eBay store at the Wolfman Joe Toys and Media store, which I have two of them. So we'll see, how this works. I just want to say that I'm happy to do this video and happy to go on video and see where the next step leads and however it's going to take and wherever I'm going, but I'm going to have fun with this. Because everybody's doing video right now. I've always been behind the scenes. You never seen the actual studio, rather it's a kitchen or the dungeon, but I'll show you what I call the dungeon. It's the basement, but I call it the dungeon because it's where all the eBay packing and stuff like that happens. So we'll see what goes on from there. I'm going to cut these videos about 10 minutes. I don't want them very long. So we'll see what goes on from there. I'm just going to plug one thing. Check out the Joseph Evaldi Network on Spreaker. We got very good audio podcasts for you. Check out my page, the Joseph Evaldi Network Nexus page. We're going to have artwork done by me that are turned into digital products. And also, eventually, we're going to get some audio up. Some have been released years ago. Some have never been released. And some are never been released and waiting to be released. So, get that opportunity to purchase or own, or you have that opportunity to support me and subscribe and be a part of the Joseph Evaldi community. So, there you have it. Also, check out my Wolfman Joe Toys and Media Store. They're very good place where you get vintage cars, toy cars, vintage vinyls, vintage a lot of stuff, comics. We have many products. Check out our store. It'll be in the link below, and we have much more. So it's just an introduction video. We'll see what goes on from there. Have a good day. This is the Joseph Evaldi Video Podcast.